Don Ball and Corey Smith holding midfielders. With, it looks to me at the moment Solly Kai and Ben Knight playing wide, right and left. In fact, it's James Brophy and Ben Knight playing left and right respectively, with Solly Kai just in behind Killian Kouassi. So 4-4-1-1 to start with. Chester in all blue with white stripes on the shirts. George Murphy-Jones in goal. Look like they've got back five actually, of Dylan Motley-Henley on the right hand side, Nathan Woodridge on the left as Hughes going forward at the moment, Tom Leake, Hayden Carson and Festus Arthur in midfield. In centre of defence, Declan Weeks, Ewan Murray, Jack Bainbridge midfield, and two up front, Tom Pears, Pat Jones. Referee today David Rock has been here before, he's in Imperial Purple as he did the League Cup game against Charlton when he booked 4 Charlton men and sent one off as well. Hughes in possession with Bennett on the right hand side, scampering down the line. Defender slides in and Hughes will have a throw. Will level with the edge of the area, right hand side. So 5 from a Chester point of view at the back, by the looks of it, Doug.
Yeah, very much so. The media team that we spoke to prior to the game were a little unsure which way they'd go, but they have gone with the wing backs.
There's Hughes looking to get forward towards the edge of the area. Ball tripped on the edge of the box. Play continues. Ball goes long and eastward in this coniferous green.
Yeah, so that natural width will come on the right hand side from Dylan Motley-Henry and Nathan Woodthorpe on the left hand side. So yeah, just something a little bit different for United to think about. It'd be interesting actually to know whether Neil Harris expected them to line up with a 4 or a 5.
Hughes ball wide to Bennett on the right hand side, looking to take on Woodthorpe, gets the ball into the area, deep far post, keeper comes, gets something on it, it's only half cleared, headed away, looking to dig it out. United have done just that. Corey Smith will try and recycle it. Kai gets it wide again towards Purrington on the left hand side. Brophy peels away to his left, almost level with the edge of the area, tries to get it back. Smith looks for a bit of width, looks for a bit of movement, chips it over the top, looking for the run. Motley-Henry gets there, puts it away for a throw to United.
May even gone for the corner actually, Jono.
I think you're right.
Judging by the fact that Sule Kai has trotted over to the far hand or the far side. Usually takes the corners and it is a corner.
It is, right footed in swinging, Kai to take. Everyone back for Chester, everyone Bob Bennett and the keeper forward for United. And it comes now looking for whip at the near post, nearly got there. Smith will get it back, the referee stops players. Players clash in the box and go down. 2 from Chester, 1 from United, and it is 0-0. Chester fans occupying 3 parts of the south stand today, travelled in good numbers, making good noise, but at the moment they've got Festus Arthur and one other down at the other end of the ground in front of the Newmarket Road end.
Well, the foul was given against Don Ball, and he's taken out 2 Chester players, both of whom are really struggling to get to their feet here. One is now up, but Festus Arthur still down. Now he's up actually.
There's some lights come on above us. They're new. They look new as well.
They are new, aren't they? Well, yeah. There we go.
Well, we like that.
It's brilliant.
I can suddenly see my notes again.
Yeah, afternoon, John. I can see you now.
Oh, it's you today, is it, Doug? Nice to see you again.
That was Dylan Motley-Henry, who was one of the players that was down in that Don Ball sandwich, but he's up and seems okay now.
5 minutes in then, and we've had a 2-minute silence for a Remembrance Weekend here at the Abbey Stadium. Well, it's not a Remembrance Weekend per se, but it's United's Remembrance match. And they did things slightly differently. They had the last post not accompanied by the whistle, and then they had the whistle, and as a result everyone seemed to know what they were doing, and it was impeccably maintained and noted as United winning the ball back inside their own half.
Brilliantly observed as well, wasn't it, as always, Jono?
Observed was just the word I was looking for. I don't know why I couldn't find it today, never mind, it'll turn up later. As United back on the ball, looking to smuggle it back. Pat Jones was battling for it, diminutive figure, but United get it forward. Kouassi heads it on, and he's got the ball back, and he'll block it as well, and they'll look through towards Kai just outside the area. He's beaten away. Jones gets it back. Pears holds it up on halfway, just challenged by Morrison. And the ball goes back into Chester territory, where they get themselves in a bit of a tangle, but do smuggle the ball back to the keeper. Big money, relatively big anyway at this first round stage, just shy of £48,000 for the winner, but the loser today gets almost 16,000.
Yeah, it's not bad. The prize money eats up each of the last few seasons, isn't it, as well? So yeah, it's a decent pot of money. It might go towards buying United a forward in January, you never know.
Chester already bagged just over 18,000 for winning their previous 3 games. As United making progress, and Chester have got a man down again on that left hand side. United, I think, will have the throw, but there's a Chester man down again in front of the Having stand, who are giving him scant sympathy.
It's Motley Henry again, actually. Now, I didn't see exactly what went on there, whether it's an after effect or two of what happened in the 18-yard box a few moments ago. I'm not sure.
The referee just having a look, see what's going on. David Rock, he's in Episcopal purple today, and play will continue with Chester down to 10, United with the throw. Midway inside Chester territory, left hand side. Purrington gets the ball back to Corey Smith, he'll roll it across to Don Ball. Midway inside the Chester half, across to Knight, who's quickly closed down and nearly loses possession, but Ball tidies up in front of 3 gentlemen, presume they're gentlemen, dressed as bananas in the Happin stand. Talk of a throwback Saturday.
That's got stag do written all over it, hasn't it, Johnny?
You're asking me? Presumably, as the ball down that far side, Purrington's upended. Free kick to United, 15 yards or so inside Chester territory. Thought they were doing it properly, they'd be in the director's box in
they would,
next week, wouldn't they?
They would, wouldn't they?
Perhaps that's a de rigueur for the Having stand this season. It will be a free kick to United. Purrington would take, left-footed, from midway inside the Chester half, wide on the left-hand side. Into the air it goes, looking for the flick, half cleared, away by Jones, only as far as Liam Bennett, who hoiks it back. Doesn't get the distance for which he's looking, and it's hoofed away for a throw to United inside Chester territory. 0-0, 7 minutes in.
Yeah, it's been pretty much, predominantly inside Chester's half of the field as well. United dominant and looking to take a real grip on this game.
Morrison works the ball back to his keeper, and Eastwood will work it across towards that left hand side. Kel Watts will stride forward, space for him to work in. Chester pull everyone behind the ball, and it goes wide towards Bennett, who brings it down in the area, and he's just tagged by Woodthorpe just outside the area, and it will be a free kick for United and a yellow card for Nathan Woodthorpe for that body check on Liam Bennett. Free kick to the U's in a good position.
Yeah, he took it down brilliantly on his chest originally, and it's a straightforward decision in terms of the booking. Another free kick in a decent position. You can see why Neil Harris has selected Liam Bennett today on that right hand side, can't you, in terms of his attacking threat, perhaps more than his defensive work at times in this game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, for this kind of match. This is right up his street. There will be a free kick. It's 5 yards outside the box, level with that right edge of the area in front of the Newmarket Road end. Kai and Brophy standing over it. Brophy the left-footed option to swing it in. Kai right-footed, out-swinging. 3-man wall has been nursed back the correct distance, and it becomes a 2-man wall. Kai moves away into the box, leaving Brophy to take the free kick. Everyone back in the box for Chester. Brophy left-footed in swingers, inviting gap by that near post. He'll look to plant it deep towards the far post. Arriving at the far post, he's smuggled in. It's Kouassi arriving at the far post, smuggling it over the line. It went a long way towards the far post. Kouassi was there and wandered it in from close range. Hughes ahead, 10 minutes in. Cambridge United 1, Chester 0.
Well, they've been dominant from the first whistle, haven't they, United? And what you want when you're in a situation like that is to complement your play and your build up with the goals, isn't it? And Killian Kouassi, man on the spot, he almost looked apologetic, didn't he, as the ball crossed the line. That's his 4th goal of the season, so he's joint top scorer with James Brophy now. A word for James Brophy in fact in terms of the ball into the box, and that is now United's 13th goal from set piece situations this season.
That is after years of banging on about how we wish United had been better at set plays. That's good. Well, really is good. Yeah. We were talking about that even in the promotion year.
Absolutely, yeah. We're now talking about it in a positive light, aren't we, Jono? But that's the goal that they wanted in terms of just giving them a situation where it just settles the nerves a little bit. Now it's all about the second, if they can get it.
As Kai tried to work it forward for Knight, worked away by the Chester defence, big up and under. Bennett can't get there, bounces off the head of Pears, and United will settle for the throw midway inside their own half. Perfect start from United.
Yeah, absolutely. Say to complement your play with goals, and in a game like this where it is a potential banana skin, to coin a phrase used by our dear friend Edwin Overland.
Doubt that very much. He hated that phrase.
He used it a lot but didn't like it.
No. As Knight tries to win the ball back and just bumps into Jack Bainbridge, and that will be a free kick to Chester inside their own half. Hughes lead then by that early goal to 0.
Yeah, it just settles everyone down, doesn't it? Whether you're on the pitch or in the stands, or Neil Harris on the touchline, and Callum McIntyre, the Chester boss, looking a little edgy, and his own technical area. He had a vote of confidence, didn't he, earlier this week, which was a little bit odd considering his side have lost just one of the last 10 games.
Yeah, came out all guns blazing in an interview in midweek, I saw.
He did, didn't he? Very confident and very well spoken as well.
But he didn't talk about the Carp. It was all about league for him, and it's clearly the targets he's been set. So this is a free hit for him, and at the moment he's struck at the wind and hit the weather. United lead by a goal to 0.
Yeah, they beat Morecambe in the last round, so 4th qualifying round. Prior to that, Curzon Ashton. United fans will remember Curzon Ashton, of course. They beat them 5-1. Stalybridge Celtic 2-1. Victors over the opposition that day.
As United back in possession inside their own half, Watts rolls it across to Michael Morrison, who's from left to right. That was their decision as well. It's not particularly blustery, but there is a slight edge to it at the moment. It's United getting the ball wide to Purrington on that left hand side, just shy of halfway. Watts and Morrison will switch it from left to right. Bennett comes short for the ball, wants it and gets it on the halfway line, dances infield, gets the ball back. United via Corey Smith can switch it left hand side. Purrington, space for him. United just trying to pull Chester out of position at the moment. They're playing with a little bit of a swagger as well on the ball.
They are, aren't they? Knocking the ball around well, and passing game is on top form today.
Smith and Ball combining. Ball felt the challenge from behind, or felt the possibility of it, gets it back to Smith, and then just let the ball run under his foot. And Morrison tidies up, goes back to his keeper. Well, pretty possessions all well and good, but United going nowhere on that occasion.
Yes.
Now they might.
No outlet, was there?
Morrison with an angle ball forward, looking for Purrington, who's just beaten in the air by Motley Henry, and United will settle for the throw midway inside their own half, leading by a goal to 0. 14 minutes gone.
Yeah, Don Ball, plenty of touches in the middle of the park, and he said the ball rolled under his foot, but he was saying to the wide men, push up, give me an option, and I want a little bit more movement.
Now Bennett for the Hughes. Ball forward was charged down, and Hughes will do well to recover it, and Corey Smith has just done exactly that, finding Ball. Now Brophy on the left hand side, Purrington on the overlap, and he uses him. All back in field, safe option back to Corey Smith, rolling it across. United looking to switch it from left to right, using what width there is here at the Abbey Stadium, and then Knight's pass back to Morrison made Morrison stretch to keep possession. United just need to be a little more careful on the ball here.
Yeah, not get too lackadaisical and complacent, I should say.
Now it's forward to Brophy, who'll go wide towards Purrington on the left hand side. Purrington couldn't give it back to Brophy, he's almost standing on his toes at the time, but United work it back in field. Now ball across to Knight. Knight will look to return the compliment to midway inside the Chester half. It will go wide to Purrington on the left hand side, over the edge of the area, finding Brophy. Brophy will spin once and twice, looking to get it back to Smith. Played at walking pace at the moment. Now the ball into the area. That's decent, but it's worked away by the Chester defence. But Bennett's done really well to get there first, and he'll turn away on the right hand side and deliver the ball in deep far post towards Kouassi, who climbed well, and the keeper clawed it back onto Kouassi, and away it goes for a goal kick. Lovely cross from the right hand side. Kouassi climbed well, couldn't quite get enough on it, and actually George Murray-Jones, the powder purple clad keeper for Chester, did really well there.
He did. It was a dangerous ball in from Liam Bennett, teasing him on it. It was a ball that was fed in that smacked of, well, come and knock me in the back of the net, wasn't it? Killing Kouassi. Talking to Knox, he got a bit of a clonk on the nose there, I think, from Festus Arthur, and just went away rubbing it ruefully. But United look a danger from the wide areas, don't they, at the moment?
Yeah. Which is interesting against a 5-man Chester defence, as Watts comes a long way to win a header, and that'll end up all the way back with Murray-Jones.
Yeah, the early goal will force Chester out as well, which will opened the game up, no doubt. Ben Knight, big afternoon for him, not quite got himself into the game too much yet.
There's the ball given away in Chester territory, and Purrington couldn't quite bring it under his spell, but Hughes settled for the throw as the ball's clattered over the roof of the Havin stand towards the Midsummer Common, where the fireworks will be going off this evening.
As they will do on Wednesday, round and about, with United in EFL Trophy action.
It's that Hughes with work to do to progress in that particular competition.
Absolutely, they made a rob for their own back with throwing away a place in the knockout stages late on at Barnet.
But here come the Hughes again with the ball over halfway, and he holds off a challenge and finds a bit of room in which to move. Corey Smith goes back wide towards Knight on the right hand side, looking at the ball in towards Bennett. Didn't quite find the angle for him. Bennett would challenge, Woodthorne sees him off and end up in a pile with a clump of photographers. And the ball out for the goal kick. There's 3 photographers there, and Bennett and Woodthorpe and the ball all ended up collapsing into them, so I hope they've got their close range lenses on.
I'm sure they have a range of lenses these days, photographers, but started once again that particular move. Don Ball, you're seeing a lot of the ball in central midfield. I spoke to him on Thursday actually, and I'm not sure he appreciated me reminding him that he's never scored a goal in the FA Cup. Perhaps this afternoon will be the day.
If he does, will you run and celebrate in front of you?
I'll claim an assist.
Good for you. There's Chester back on the ball. They're giving it away. There's Brophy on the left hand side, and he's run through a couple of challenges towards the edge of the box. Still he continues his run. Brophy's shot blocked, throw to United level with the edge of the area. There was an ambitious shot from Brophy. He had Kouassi for company, decided to eschew the option. United back in possession again with Morrison moves forward over halfway again. There's Don Ball. His pockets picked by Pears, and Chester will look to counter-attack. They might do so, and they're away on the right-hand side. It's looking to try and get the ball down that right-hand side from Jones. Ball into the area towards Pearce, just behind him. Driving is Woodthorne, and he got the shot away. Bennett arrived at the same time, and the ball thumped wide, and Woodthorne goes down holding his ankle.
Well, there's the danger on the counter-attack. It was all stemming from that. Don Ball is the man we've been speaking about. He lost the ball. He could have done with a shout, really, and they broke with real pace. On the other side of the park at the moment, Motley Henry down again on the turf. Jono?
Yeah, that's trouble for Chester. He's been down several times. But there was a chance for a break down the right-hand side, wasn't there? And then the ball in. Hughes had about 2 chances to clear. Made a bit of a pig's ear of it. And there will be a change for Chester. Dion Kelly Evans will come on for Dylan Motley Henry.
Yeah, not what you want early in a cup tie when you're 1 down and you've opted to play a wing-back system, and they're so key, aren't they, the wing-backs to this kind of formation and this kind of system in preparation of a game, and when you go out there across the white line, so to have to change after 18-19 minutes is not what you want.
Well, I think Kelly Evans can play right back or right midfield, so presumably can play right wing back as well, so it's not a huge disruption for Chester, but it's not ideal.
It isn't, is it? And a real shame for Dylan Motley Henry that you get yourself up for a game like this against a Football League side, and you have to go off after, well, inside 20 minutes or so. You feel for him, but I don't think he'd recovered from that little Don Ball sandwich, did he, in the 18-yard box very early on in the game.
This is a goal kick then for the U's, which Eastwood gets forward. Kouassi wrestled off the ball, but Hughes back in possession with Bennett, who's pushed to the ground. Free kick to the Hughes. Shoving the back from Ewan Murray.
He made sure the referee gave the free kick, put it that way, didn't he, Liam Bennett?
Quickly taken by United. They're in hurry-up offence mode. Corey Smith just took his eye off the ball for a minute, but it rolled through to Purrington on the left-hand side. Both central midfielders done that a couple of times. And now Morrison for United, right hand side, ball round the corner from Kai, looks to return pass, and he might get it from Knight. Defender arrives at the same time, but it's back to Bennett close to the corner flag on the right, looking to twist and turn. Got Knight for company, gets the ball back to him, looking to roll it on, but that's picked off. Hughes try and win it back and commit a foul in doing so, and that was sloppy from United.
It was a bit messy, wasn't it, really? I mean, the ball from Sully Kaiko, or to Sully Kaiko initially, was super. He did well to just wrap his right foot around it. I think he was looking for the corner initially, but yeah, they just made a bit of a hash of that one, as you say, Jono. And you have to be careful in situations like this. You're facing the side a couple of divisions below, you dominate the game, you're 1-0 up, you mustn't become complacent, and it's those kind of situations in which you get called out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the word in that is only 1-0 up.
Yep, you're correct.
There will be Murray Jones with the free kick deep over halfway. Morrison does enough, and ball will send it spinning away towards that right hand side, but Evans will pick it up for Chester, and Bainbridge will go back towards that right hand side. He's got Kelly Evans back, ball whipped into the air. There's danger here for United, and between them Morrison and Bennett smuggle it away, and it goes out for the corner. Hit the corner flag, I think, on its way out.
Yeah, he did well. I think it was off the head of Liam Bennett, wasn't it? And just crept the wrong side for United of the corner flag on that occasion. I was going to question of the referee as to whether there was perhaps more in it than that was Tom Pearce.
As the corner will be taken, as late arrivals make their way into the seats. Right-footed in swinging Declan Weeks to take, pushing and shoving by the byline. It's by the byline, but it's an unusual position. It's between the 6-yard box and the edge of the penalty area. Don't often see a queue of players over on that far side. Very unusual.
It is very unusual, bizarre way to line up for a corner.
Now they make their spin into the box, goes deep, nodded away at full stretch by Corey Smith, but it'll come back towards this near side, whip back into the danger area. Smith is there again to half clear, and it's half cleared once more, only as far as Smith, and he'll look to break now. You've got men flooding forward, but Smith runs into a challenge and is chopped down. The referee will want a word with Ewan Murray for that challenge, but Smith just couldn't see the pass he wanted.
No, he couldn't. I mean, United were flooding forward. I think that the right pass potentially would have been Liam Bennett on the right hand side, who'd make a super run down that particular flank, but he just couldn't wrap his foot round it, and well, it was a high leg in the end, wasn't it, from the Chester man to bring him down rather crudely in the end, really.
Yeah, Corey Smith just making a point or two to one or two of his teammates that he could have done with better runs. Yep. I think
so. They were flooding forward, but no one in the space that he wanted, really.
Hughes with the free kick. They take short and go back to Kel Watts on halfway, and he'll chop it forward towards the edge of the area, looking for Bennett, finding only Woodthorpe, who'll clear high into the air. Ball will nod it back, chase for Bennett, it's hiked away, and that will find touch, where it was held brilliantly by someone on the United technical staff. Can't quite see who that was, but it was a fantastic catch, actually in the dugout. Midway point of the first half on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire, with me, Mark Johnson, Doug Shulman alongside. It's Cambridge United 1, Chester 0. Used pretty much all the ball, but there's been the odd alarm bell rung. It's United back in possession with Don Ball. Now Bennett gets it back to him, takes a touch, and is pushed into Murray, who makes a bit of a body check for the second consecutive time. Gets a speaking to from David the Rockwreck, the referee. It's a final warning, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, he's just making the point, isn't he? He's quick to blow his whistle, and crudely brought down, wasn't he, Don Ball, as he was trying to make the most of the space ahead of him.
Free kick's taken quickly, and it's wide to Bennett on the right hand side, and he'll whip the cross into the area, into the hands of the keeper. Well worked, but poor delivery in the end.
Yeah, made it too easy for the Chester back line, and more importantly the goalkeeper. It was almost like a pass back, wasn't it, really, that one?
Long clearance into United territory. Watts and Pearce wrestling. Watts gets it half clear, worked on by Murray. Hughes will try and win it back, can't do so. It's far forward towards Jones, spins it wide to Kelly Evans on the right hand side, support behind him, looking for the ball down the line where Jones is bumped over. Hughes will clear. Corey Smith curls it forward to Knight, little nod down, finding Liam Bennett, ball back in field. United just looking for an opening, trying to pull Chester out of position at the moment. He's still 1-0, that Killian Kouassi goal after 10 minutes separating the two sides. Ball wide to Morrison on the right hand side. Now lovely pass from Morrison to Kouassi, who's offside. Good run from Kouassi, but just went a fraction early. But Michael Morrison popping up in the right fullback position with a beautifully measured ball. But in the end, the flag just catching Kouassi.
Yeah, it was the right idea, and you just got to be creative against a side that, you know, trying to be really organised and disciplined. You just got to find those little gaps and spaces, haven't you, and feed the ball through the lines when you possibly can. But when we weren't in line with that, of course, Jono, in the terms of the position we are in the presser, but you could see he was a fair way offside, Gillian Kouassi.
Yeah. You see long clearance from Murray Jones over the halfway line. Away they use defence to be thumped back, and Eastwood can let it run if he wants to and chooses not to. Keeps it in and then will dribble it across and play it across his 18-yard box. And here comes Watts for United. 27 minutes in, News 1, Chester 0 on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. There's Corey Smith deep in his own half, foraging. Goes across towards Morrison. Kaikai made a really good run, but might have been an ambitious pass to find him. Wasn't attempted. Now Morrison back on the ball. Kouassi makes a good run, and this time the pass has to go back to the keeper. So it's good movement from the front four for United at the moment.
It is, yeah, good movement. It's just not quite working the keeper enough at the moment. They've got that 1-0 lead, but you just
now
want to see
ball
a little
over
bit
the
more.
top, looking for Bennett on the right hand side. If he can get there, and he won't quite. And it goes out for a throw close to the corner flag. In fact, it's gone out for the goal kick. They're looking to get Bennett behind down the right hand side.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, they've been looking to do that from minute one, haven't they? Ben Purrington less so on the other side. I had a sneaky feeling he might have gone for Zach Bradshaw, but I think his time will come on Wednesday in the trophy.
Oh, yeah, certainly. 28 minutes gone in the FA Cup. Cambridge United 1, Chester 0. Long clearance again, which flicks off the head of Nathan Woodthorne for a throw to United. Midway inside their own half, Liam Bennett to take.
You're just seeing so much of the ball at the moment, United, with that 1-goal lead. You're just looking for that little bit of creativity, aren't you? Right at the top end of the pitch. I say you're seeing a lot of the ball in central midfield and in the wide areas as well, but you need to just work the keeper a little bit. If they can get that second goal, it gives them the cushion they want.
Yeah. As Watts comes forward and finds Purrington. Up to Brophy, who's come short for the ball. Who's in possession. Chester happy to let United have possession inside the half and round about the halfway line at the moment as Morrison strides forward, looking for movement, finding Bennett. Bennett ducks back infield to close him down, finding Don Ball now, finding Kaikai cross towards the left hand side over the halfway line. Purrington on to Brophy. Brophy skips into a challenge, loses the ball as Jones looks to break away on that left hand side, and he was chopped down by Kel Watts. That should be a yellow card for Watts. Jones was away. Watts shepped him down unceremoniously wide on that far side, and that will be a yellow card.
Yeah, he died, and you could see he was going to come in for the ball, Kel Watts. He got too much of a man for the referee on that occasion. He blocked his path.
Long lecture as well as the yellow card. So not just a yellow card and lines.
And a good talking to, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Free kick out wide on that right hand side. The Declan Weeks to take, I think. Hughes will hold a high line 10 yards or so outside the area. Line of 7 from United.
And these are the kind of situations that the visitors will look to make the most of this afternoon.
United send a couple of subs to warm up. It's the free kick from on that right hand side. It'll be whipped in, right footed, out swinging as Festus Arthur pushes Michael Morrison over. Morrison with the look of, I've seen all this before. To have a little push and shovel again. There's a ball into the area again towards that near post, and Eastwood came and he collected in front of 3, and he needed to, and he bowls it out in an instant. It was good goalkeeping, but just for a second you worried. Bennett with the ball down the line, it's over hit, and that will run through to the Chester keeper. United just gone off the ball a bit.
They have. It was good goalkeeping actually from Jake Eastwood. He's never afraid to come off his line. As soon as the ball came in, he thought, well, that's mine. came out, claimed it brilliantly, and a good bit of distribution to Liam Bennett, who looked up. He spotted the little diagonal run that Sully Kaikai was going to make. He did in fact make that run, but the pass was overhit.
Watts wins his header, and Piers goes to ground, and the referee will stop play. Well, Watts won his header cleanly, and Tom Piers, I think, felt a knock on the bonce and went down, and the referee has to stop play. Half an hour gone. Started all right for United, and they've had lots of the ball without threatening a lot since.
Yeah, that's the trick, isn't it, really? You can see that United, well, they've got almost too much time in the ball at times, and it just allows, really, Chester to have a look at what United are doing, sit a little bit deeper, and have that, despite the fact that they're 1-0 down, they need to obviously get, if they can, an equaliser as soon as possible, but they're sitting deep at times, United forcing them back, but it's giving Chester too much time. United, for me, just need to move the ball a little bit quicker and find those little gaps behind.
It's interesting, actually, that there's a number of Chester players gone over for words from their management team. For United, James Brophy's had some words of encouragement and advice from Neil Harris, and I think it's on that left-hand side. United have been slightly disappointing.
Yeah, you're right, they have. The threat really has come from the right-hand side with Liam Bennett, and of course the set piece that led to the goal from that right-hand side as well. And
as a result, Kaikai and Brophy have just swapped sides. Knight will play in behind Kouassi now, and I think they may have just shifted their shape a little bit. Hughes all forward over the head of Kouassi, nodded back towards the edge of the area, and Corey Smith is penalised for an aerial challenge. It's a free kick, and the stop-start nature will suit Chester.
It will, and it's just gone off the boil a little bit from a United perspective. It's a game that's just been broken up a little bit, but you're right, Brophy on this right-hand side now, but he operates well as an inverted winger, doesn't he?
Yeah, just looking at scores elsewhere. Barnsley have just equalised against York. Barnsley from League One, York from National League. Looking for anything outstanding. Boreham Wood 2-0 up against Crawley. Cheltenham 1-0 up against Bradford. And, League 2 against League 1 clash. Hughes still leading here by a 0-0. Fleetwood leading Barnet. Oldham from League 2 2-0 up against Northampton from League 1. As United switching it wide, looking at the run of Kaikai. If he can get there, defender comes across and slides into him, and not sure how much of that he got, the defender.
But it's a very firm switch, isn't it, from United, with Kaikai now on their left hand side and Ben Knight playing a little bit more central now in the one behind Kouassi.
Throw in towards Knight, playing on that left hand side. Let's flick it back and come across towards Morrison. Morrison taking a touch, then rolling it across. Pearce is back on the field now after that knock on the head. Hughes lead 34 minutes in. There'll be a deal of stoppage time, you think. The ball wide towards Kaikai on the left hand side, looking maraud in from that flank, then whips a deep cross, too deep, and it goes out for the goal kick. He was looking for Bennett, actually, who tiptoed in at the far post, and I think if Bennett had been standing on his own shoulders, it might have been a bit too tall for him still. Yeah,
he whips it in, didn't he, Sule Kaikai, and he's dangerous in those kind of situations, which is why Melbourne has recorded more assists than him this season in the United shirt, so 4, plus a good number of other goal contributions as well, but just whipped him, for me, with a little bit too much pace and couldn't quite find the head of Liam Bennett. I think it was a cross rather than a shot anyway.
Yeah, Hughes have definitely gone to that 4-2-3-1 shape, haven't they now, as Bennett wins his header inside his own half. Woodthorpe comes forward though, Bennett sees him off just. Morrison has to turn just outside his own area and flicks it across to Brophy, send it long. Festus Arthur with a loose header, and Kouassi will launch onto it on the right hand side. He's got 2 in the middle, he can pull it back. Kouassi across the face of goal and into the far corner. None of this crossing for Kouassi, he bangs it into the far post, and United 2-0 up. He had men in the middle in Knight and Kaikai screaming for the ball. Well, they can have it now. United 2-0 up with 10 minutes to the break.
Well, it was a brilliant strike, wasn't it, from Kylian Kouassi? You're right, the runs from the 2 in black and amber, including Ben Knight as well, looking to get on the end of it, but he was having none of it, was he? And just caught the defence a little bit out of shape. They were concentrating on Knight and Kaikai on the other side as well. The goalkeeper, well, he didn't have a clue on that situation. In that situation, did he? He was particularly disappointed, judging by the way he picked the ball out the back of the net, but a brilliant low finish from Killian Kouassi. He's now outright top scorer for United this season with the 5 goals.
And he loves his cup goals, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he?
So that's 2 in the FA Cup and 1 in the EFL Cup as well. That was a really good strike after a loose header really from Festus Arthur, and you can get away with that National North, but United made him pay.
Oh, I'm going to test your knowledge now. I mean, he's on a hat-trick now, Killian Kouassi. Last player to score a hat-trick in the FA Cup for United. I haven't got the answer, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there.
Let's have people message in. I could tell you the answer.
The quiz question.
Yeah, it's a quiz question. The usual BBC prize of nothing.
Yeah. Just the kudos.
Yeah, and you can't get much more than that. So if you'd like to message him with the last United player to score a FA Cup hat-trick, if he gets one before half-time, we'll make it even more challenging. I can't remember. As let's be honest, as the Hughes go across towards the right-hand side. An important second goal, actually, at an important time.
Yep, very much so. It gives United A, the cushion, B, a good deal of confidence, and
ball down the line to Brophy on the right-hand side. Now Bennett makes a run into the area. Brophy just loses out to a defender. He just lost possession a little bit, and it allowed the big defender Hayden Carson to put his foot in.
Yeah, it was James Brophy getting a clunk on the nose on that occasion. It's it's obviously catching this afternoon, doesn't it? But yeah, it also just makes life very, very difficult now for Chester, who need 3 to win the game, 1 to get anywhere near coming back into this game. That is the ideal situation, really, isn't it, for United? 2 up inside 35 minutes.
Yep. 38 minutes gone, used 2. Chester 0. Just want to avoid giving Chester a sniff, as Luton found against Forest Green to their cost, almost to their cost last night.
Yeah, it was a ding-dong occasion, wasn't it? 3-0 up, pulled back to 3-3, and had to rely on a late winner.
Even
that's
then,
the cup for you.
Even then, nearly conceded an even later equaliser. Still, it'd have to be, wouldn't it? Otherwise, maths wouldn't have made sense. Ball on from Kouassi into Brophy, edge of the area, looking to get it back. Couldn't smuggle it past the last defender, but it's half clear to Bennett, corner of the box, right-hand side. Chips it into the area. Festus Arthur nods it away. Further clear, but only as far as Don Ball, who brings it down and finds Corey Smith, who makes a bit of room, tries to dance past the defender, can't do so. Ball will go across to Brophy. Pass a little behind him, but Brophy works it on to Smith. United enjoying themselves at the moment. Brophy back to Smith once more. Ball in field to Don Ball. He rides a challenge and was tripped as he did so. And United will have a free kick. Bainbridge goes into the book for that trip. It's a free kick just on the edge of the area, perhaps a couple of yards outside. Good shooting position for the U's.
Well, he's come in for some treatment, hasn't he, this afternoon, Don Ball? That's 3 or 4 times now he's been chopped down.
So it's a free kick. It's closer to the D than it is to the right edge of the area. It's perhaps 3 yards outside the area. Knight and Brophy will stand over it, and Knight came close from this sort of range in pre-season, I seem to remember.
He did, and came very close in the trophy game at Barnet a couple of weeks ago, and it was Elias Kachunga that took that one away from him, really, by getting in the way and it ricocheting off his back.
Brophy, well, fans favour his left foot, you'd think. 3-man wall has now been coaxed back into position and has been told emphatically what they must and mustn't do. So Brophy or Knight. Brophy left, Knight right. 2 of the 3 in the wall are bouncing around. And it is Brophy who curls it, and only just over angle of bar and post.
Well, the goalkeeper scrambling away to his left, and it wasn't too far. It was a brilliant effort, actually, wasn't it, from James Brophy? He's obviously irked, isn't he, that Killian Kouassi is now top scorer at United, so he wants to peg him back and make it 5 apiece, doesn't he? It was a good effort, wasn't it, from James Brophy, and not too far away.
That's the clearance from the Chester keeper, finds touch just over halfway. A rather dejected look around from Callum McIntyre, the Chester boss. He's had a busy week.
He has, hasn't he? And obviously wants to do well for his club, and he's sat 17th in National League North. It's not where you want to be. They've drawn 5 and won 1 of their last 6 games in the league. Done well in the cups though.
As United back on the ball with Kel Watts. Roll it across to Don Ball. He's closed down, but has got the wherewithal to find Michael Morrison in his own half. Cross towards Corey Smith, who turns and clips it infield to Ball, who's found a pocket of space and sends it long, looking for the run of Purrington on the left hand side. If he can get there, he might do, but the byline defender comes across and blocks him off. The ball goes out for the goal kick. Good defending, and it needed to be from Dion Kelly Evans. It was Ben Purrington had a real head of steam on.
He did well to just get in front of Purrington, not allow him through. His diminutive but good upper body strength there on that occasion. He wasn't allowing Ben Purrington through consecutive seasons. Dion Kelly Evans has faced United in the first round of the FA Cup. He was in the Woking side that lost 1-0 to United last season. James Brophy with the winner that day.
Some people have still got a mug to show to prove it. They have a special commemorative mug, and I used it for a cuppa suit this morning. Liam Bennett heads the ball on. Defender there turns, clears into touch for throw to United once more. Inside used territory, but only just. Used an amber and black from left to right in this first half. 42 minutes of which have been played relatively comfortably for Hughes.
It is, and United will hope with this 2-0 lead that it's not going to go all silly and we'll end up with extra time and penalties today. No replays, of course, in the FA Cup these days.
Kel Watts gives the ball away, then charges forward, wins it back, loses it again, and Pat Jones will struggle forward. He's got support right and left. He goes for goal, across the face of goal, and Knight, who was on his Eastwood rather, was on his knees, taking his hands away, just knowing that it was going wide of the far post. It was a sniff of a chance for Chester, but Eastwood always had that under control and didn't deign to try and make a save.
I mean, it wasn't too far wide and didn't embarrass Jake Eastwood at all, but it was a bit of space that opened up for Pat Jones, and it was well hit.
It was.
Well hit, good effort.
It's been their standout player for me, Pat Jones, in the first half. Hughes lead by 2-0, for whom Kylian Kouassi has been United's standout player with both goals. Morrison for the Hughes on halfway on the right hand side, chipping it forward, looking for the run of Knight. Festus Arthur comes across, ball skips off his shin. Knight will get there by the corner flag and turn. Support in the middle, plenty of it as well. Looking to twist and turn and manufacture a cross, gets it onto his right foot, rolls it back for Don Ball just outside the box. He'll go back into the area looking for the run of Bennett, who gets to the byline, across the face of goal. The keeper got a hand on it, poured it away for a throw to United. That was a decent save as well from George Murray-Jones, who hurt himself in the process. Well, Bennett got everything behind it, and Murray-Jones had to get a big paw on it and claw it away for a throw.
He did, didn't he? He looks like he's the next in line to get a clunk on the head, and the referee's calling for a bit of medical assistance actually for the keeper. He's pointing to his head. It is in fact a head injury, and Ben Purrington will have to wait a moment or two before he takes that throw from the far side, Jono.
That was a really well struck cross shot. I'm going for a shot more than a cross from Liam Bennett. You're absolutely everything behind that.
Yeah, space is found on the overlap, Liam Bennett. I guess that was the point of selecting him in that particular position today, wasn't it?
Yeah. Again, Brophy's on this near side taking a drink and a little bit of advice. Well, actually, I think knowing James Brophy, I think he's just come over for a chat.
I think he likes a chin wag, doesn't he?
He does, absolutely.
James Brophy.
Yeah.
He's chatting to one of the United physio team at the moment. He's had a drink, now he's trotting back. Never short of conversation. That's United's number 7.
As Al Falker, the head steward, just has a word with the fourth official, Kieran Fiddler. Check how many minutes are going to be added. Hughes have taken the throw. Ball into Watts into the area. Festus Arthur with that big stooping header away. Smith gets the ball back for United, finding Morrison in the centre circle. Spins out towards the right hand side where he'll find Liam Bennett. Bennett runs into a challenge, wins a throw for the Hughes. Last minute of normal time. There'll be a few to be added, you'd think.
Yeah, you would. There's been 1 or 2 stoppages in the game. Dylan Motley Henry, I think he was down 3 times, wasn't he?
There's the ball down the left hand side where Kai turns away from a slipping Motley Henry and will look to try and deliver the ball in. Finds instead, as 4 minutes will be added, minimum thereof, as Knight pins away on that right hand side. looking to try and deliver the cross from the corner of the area. Can't do so, but can find support behind him from Purrington. Ball into the box is cleared, only as far as Watts for the U's. Sends it across to Morrison, who'll skitter across towards this right hand side. Corey Smith has come deep for the ball, looking to find Don Ball, who lays it off to Morrison again. Hughes from left to right towards the Newmarket Road end, up the hill, finding Smith, who just ducks away from a challenge and keeps the ball for the U's. We've had nearly 30 seconds of the first of the 4 additional minutes. Morrison comes forward for United once more, finding Brophy. Brophy will dance infield and continue so doing, looking for Kouassi, who turns into out of trouble. Lovely little Cruyff turn, keeping possession, and gets the ball back. Smith looking to chip it into the area where United have got a runner in the area. Don Ball, don't pick him out. Chester will look to counter down this near side. Morrison make sure they don't go too far too quickly, and Don Ball's back on defensive duty. Crossfield pace, that was dangerous, and Kel Watts somehow digs it out but can't keep possession. And on the edge of the area, Ball with a really important block after he started a bit of nonsense on the edge of the box, and works it away. Kouassi does well. Purrington on to Kai, goes to ground, no free kick. It's Pears looking to turn, and it's wide. Kelly Evans on that right hand side. He has to check his run for a moment. And Chester in possession, looking for a bit of a lifeline before half time.
Well, United doing a good job at shutting off the wide areas at the moment.
As Bainbridge lays it off wide towards Kelly Evans on that right hand side, looking to lay it back to Weeks. Hughes pushing out, trying to get Chester forced back. Leak gets it wide again towards the right hand side. Hughes with numbers back, and there's Souley Kai getting the ball back to Watts, who will clear emphatically upfield, and he might find Kouassi, and he has done, and Kouassi's in. He's been forced a little wide. He's got support arriving from Brophy in the middle, doesn't control, second attempt does, and Brophy makes it 3. Straightforward ball over the top. Kouassi got behind his defender, couldn't get the shot away, kept his patience, kept his composure, found James Brophy, who kept United well in advance of the scoreline by finding the top corner and making it 3-0 3 minutes into stoppage time.
A lightning attack from United. We talked about it in the build-up to today's game with Peter before 3 o'clock, in terms of the fact that the selection they've made, you look at and you think there's pace in this side, and Kylian Kouassi's run, I mean, the way he turned and got himself away, and it was a half of football really, where the headlines are written by him in terms of his 2 goals, but also for the assist from James Brophy, who just took his time. And you're right, I mean, it was brilliantly hit, a little bit of a deflection on the way through, I think, but he gets that 5th goal and he's joint top scorer.
Welcome listeners in the north of the county. James Brophy's just made it 3-0. Kouassi 2 goals and 1 assist. Emphatic finish from James Brophy, who loves this straight to the cup, and he's turned again. We're into the 4th of the 4 additional minutes. United in complete control at the moment. They've had a couple of moments, but been of their own making really, but really they've been dominant in possession, and they've been dominant on the score sheet.
Oh, they haven't. It was a brilliant finish, wasn't it, from James Brophy, when you give him that kind of space, when he can cut in, drop his shoulder and onto his left foot, and give him space and time to hit it like that. And the form he's been in this season in terms of goal scoring, it was only going to end up one way, really.
Yeah, Knight gets the ball back, and Watts, whose pass over the top, actually, it was a clearance that the Chester defender actually missed, leading to that 3rd goal. As there goes the half-time whistle, and what a half that's been from United. Chester fans booing their team off. Well, they've been forced back for long periods, but United have been good, and they've been good in possession. They scored early when they needed to. Brophy with a free kick, finding Kouassi unattended at the far post to wander the ball in. Then United had a couple of moments when they squandered possession and gave Chester a little bit of a sniff, but Eastwood hasn't had a save to make. And after 20 minutes or so, United plenty of the ball but not doing much with it. Ball over the top was misplayed by the head, Festus Arthur, the Chester centre half. Kouassi was away, and he managed to thump it in at the far post despite having options in the middle. Brophy then with a free kick just over, and then Brophy didn't miss on 48. Watts with the ball off the unfortunate Festus Arthur. Kouassi away again into the area. Couldn't get the shot away, but could find James Brophy, who made no mistake. And the U's cruising. Half time, Cambridge United 3, Chester 0.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sport.
Cambridge United rocking and rolling at the Abbey Stadium, scoring early, and realistically they've been in control throughout the half. Killing Kouassi with a well-taken brace. James Brophy slamming the ball home in first half stoppage time. Cambridge United leading Chester of the National League North by 3-0 for Peterborough United. The Luke Williams revolution, so far so good. Harry Leonard scoring his first posh goal. Peterborough United starting the game very brightly. In fact, the goal coming at a good moment as Cardiff were growing into the game. Posh with so much energy in midfield. Will they be able to maintain that during the second half? Visible new manager bounce, aggression in attacking areas, so many things that we just haven't really seen from Peterborough United over recent weeks. 81333 if you'd like to share your thoughts and text us. We're also on Twitter at BBC Cam Sport, and you can get in touch via WhatsApp 08000 321 333, 08000 321 333. Text starting your messages CAM, and WhatsApp starting your messages CAM. Peterborough United 1-0 up here at London Road. Cambridge United leading 3-0 at the Abbey. Elsewhere then in the FA Cup first round weekend, Gateshead leading AFC Wimbledon by a 0-0. That one will be an upset if it stays the same. All Square, Barnsley, York at 1-1. Blackpool are leading Scunthorpe by a 0-0 at Bloomfield Road. Ashley Fletcher scoring after 17 minutes. Bolton 1, Huddersfield 0 in an all League One tie. Boreham Wood are 2-0 up against Crawley. Some chap called Ryan Loft sent off for Crawley. He does pick up the cards, doesn't he? Ryan Loft, on loan of course from Cambridge United. Bromley 0, Bristol Rovers 0. Burton are 1-0 up against St Albans. Burton scoring their goal in the first minute of the game. Buxton 0, Chatham 0. Cheltenham 1-0 up against Bradford. League 2 Cheltenham leading League 1 Bradford. Colchester 1, MK Dons 1 in an all League 2 tie. Crewe 1, Doncaster 0. Former Newsman Mickey Dimitriou with the Crewe goal. Fleetwood 1, Barnet 0. Ebbsfleet are 1-0 up at Grimsby, but also down to 10 men. Halifax 0, Exeter 2. Macclesfield 3, Totton 3. The goals flying in that one. Mansfield 1, Harrogate 0. League 1 against League 2. Newport Gillingham is at 1-1. Oldham 2, Northampton 0. Reading leading Carlisle by a 0-0. Rotherham 1, Swindon 0. Lincoln 1-0 up at Salford. Slough 2, Altrincham 0 in a non-league tie. Barrow 1-0 up at Spennymoor. Stevenage 0, Chesterfield 0. Sutton leading AFC Telford by a 0-0. Tranmere 0, Stockport 0. Southend 1-0 down at Wealdstone, also down to 10 men. Aldershot leading Western Supermare by a 0-0. Wigan 1, Hemel Hempstead 0. 0-0 Wickham Plymouth. At 5:30 Brackley against Notts County. And one result from earlier, Chelmsford beating Braintree by 4-1 in an Essex derby. In the Premier League, Brighton 1-0 up against Leeds. Danny Welbeck scoring after 11 minutes at the Amex. Arsenal leading 2-0 at Burnley. Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 0. Fulham leading Wolves by a 0-0. A wretched start to the season for Wolves, who were also down to 10 men in that one. Manchester United with a spring in their step currently under Ruben Amorim. 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest. Casemiro scoring the goal there. At 5:30 in the Premier League, Tottenham against Chelsea. At 8 o'clock, Liverpool playing Aston Villa. In the Championship, Birmingham 1, Portsmouth 0. Charlton 0, Swansea 0. 1-1 between Oxford and Millwall. QPR 1, Ipswich 1. Derby leading 1-0 at Sheffield United. Carlton Morris with the only goal of the game so far. Preston 1-0 up at Southampton. Stoke 3, Bristol City 0. Watford 2, Middlesbrough 0. Results from earlier in the Championship: Leicester 0, Blackburn 2, Norwich 0, Hull 2. Further pressure on Liam Manning, the Canaries boss. 0-0 between West Brom and Sheffield Wednesday. We'll do some of your messages in just a bit, but let's make our way over to the Abbey Stadium. Doug Shulman, so far so good, and obviously in this sort of game, a potential banana skin. If you score that early, it puts you in a great position.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's what you want, really. I mean, we said before the game, didn't we, that you don't want United to be the headlines on the back pages come tomorrow morning. Neil Harris takes this competition really seriously. Clearly his players are reflecting that on the pitch as well, and yet the last thing you want to do is dominate the game early on. It becomes a little bit sticky, you can't get the breakthrough, but to get that goal after 10 minutes just settled everyone down.
Set piece kings once again. Doug, I think you cracked out the stat. Is it now 13 goals from set plays so far this season?
Yeah, in League and Cup. I mean, it's brilliant. Jono mentioned in commentary the fact that for 2 or 3 seasons we were banging on about United being less than positive from those kind of situations, but to get 13 at this stage in the season, whether it be first contact, second contact off the set piece, is really encouraging. It shows that you can score goals on the break, you can score them when you're in complete domination, and you can get them from the set plays as well. It's something that's a real fillip to have in your armour, certainly, and I have to say, I mean, it was brilliantly taken by Kylian Kouassi, and yes, it was a goal that he looked almost a little bit apologetic, whether it bounced off his knee or his shin or what, I'm not sure, but it was important to get that early goal, and say to tick off another set piece is brilliant.
Second goal came at a good time as well, in that it was perhaps getting a little frustrating in that the youths were seeing a lot of the ball. They tweaked things in attack, just shifting Ben Knight into a more central position. Kouassi going and getting that second goal really add a stroke, and of course now we've got the third as well. But really at the point the second went in, you're thinking, right, well that is, barring something ridiculous, that's job done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you looked at the game, and United were having so much possession, it almost smacks of they didn't quite know what to do with it at times. And you saw Don Ball in the middle of the park, who I don't think anyone's touched the ball more than him so far this afternoon in this FA Cup game, and a couple of times he looked frustrated that there weren't the runners ahead of him, there wasn't the space for people to run into, and there wasn't the energy beyond him that he wanted to make the passes that would make a difference. And so there was that little tweak in formation, Sully Kaiko going out to the left hand side, Ben Knight going a little bit more central, and that was in the 32nd minute, and within 3 minutes Kylian Kouassi's got the ball down the right hand side, and he really did flummox the Chester backline in terms of what he was going to do with the ball. He's drilled it under the keeper, and I have to say it was a super strike from a man that's in a little bit of form at the moment.
Cambridge United then 3-0 up at the half-time break. Peterborough United leading Cardiff by a 1-0. And Chris Dowsett, I would imagine, we were discussing in the build-up, realistically, given the very limited time on the training ground, how much of a difference could Luke Williams make? Well, the answer is quite a lot. It's looked really quite different.
It's chalk and cheese, really, from what we've seen in the past few weeks. There's a real dynamism about Posh's play. They're fluid. They're passing the ball very, very quickly, precisely, and they're getting up the pitch. I think that's the biggest thing, Pete, is that they have been on the front foot. Darren Ferguson has always played good football in his Peterborough United spells, but towards the end it was getting stale. They weren't really going anywhere, and I think Ben mentioned it in commentary that there wasn't really any plan, not that you could see clearly anyway. I think it's been very obvious from what we've seen in this first 45 minutes exactly what Luke Williams is trying to do. He's trying to get the ball wide, he's trying to get it up there quickly, they're trying to get to the byline and then pull it back, and they've really tested this Cardiff side. A Cardiff side that haven't conceded that many times in League One this season, only conceded 11 in 13 games, but away from home they've only conceded twice all season, and yet Posh have got in behind them a number of times, and the number of corners they've had, the number of opportunities has really been stark. And I think what we can say over the rest of this season from what we've seen so far is Posh not really getting in the final third very often at all. They sort of managed to get it in midfield and then lose it, but today their high press, pace. When they're out of possession, they're winning it back high up the pitch, and when they're building from the back, they are using and utilising the wings really, really well, and that's worked to a massive advantage. And Posh thoroughly deserved their lead, and they arguably probably could be a little bit further in front than they are.
Yeah, maybe the advantage of being the fresh face coming in that he's been able to take a few gambles, and maybe the lack of confidence, it doesn't weigh as heavy, and that Cardiff have been allowed a bit of space wide in attacking areas, haven't really made anything of it. Midfield, centre of the pitch has been fascinating in that Ben Woods has been box to box, getting all over the place, and it's meant at times there's been a bit more space in there. I guess that balance really of taking a few more risks but then gaining the rewards.
Yeah, I think it helps Ben Woods is that he's got such a dependable partner in Archie Collins next to him, so he knows that he can take those risks to go forward because the cover will be there. But I think it is a bit shackles off, isn't it? I mean, Darren Ferguson had a certain way of playing. He'd been at the club for a long period of time, fantastic success, and nobody should ever take that away from him. He did a brilliant job here over 4 spells, but it just felt that it was getting a bit tired towards the end. Maybe the messages weren't cutting through as much. A bit of a new broom in the dressing room, new voice, new ideas, and already there just looks there's more energy about it. It just looks like there's a bit more fun about it as well, because they are being allowed to go forward at pace. They are being allowed to take some risks, and yes, they've made some mistakes at the back, and Cardiff have had certainly the one opportunity through Callum Robinson where he really should have scored, but other than that, Posh have generally been in decent control of this game, and I think I think the bit that's pleased me the most, we talked about what we wanted to see, it was the style of play, the confidence, and we've seen real pace. I think that has been the difference, is that there's a lot of pace about this team now. There's a lot of belief in them all of a sudden that they can hurt these teams that are towards the top of League One, and they'll perhaps be a tad disappointed that they haven't got a second goal, because Harry Leonard missed a really good chance after just a minute. But I think my concern ahead of this second half would be that I hope that Posh haven't put too much into that first half. We know that they've struggled with fitness issues for the last few weeks. I just hope that they haven't burnt themselves out in the first 45, and that Cardiff will begin to take control as the game goes on.
Could be interesting, couldn't it, as to whether Luke Williams will be bold with his bench, in that if he wants the fresh legs, these days you have the 5 subs, it's just being prepared to maybe gamble on some of the players who are sitting there waiting ready to go.
Well, it might well be predetermined. He might have a plan that, let's say after 55 minutes he brings a couple on. Just watching the half-time warm-up, the one player that has been quite stringent in his warm-up is Clyde Lolos, and as Ben said before the game, we haven't seen a lot of him yet in a Peterborough United shirt, but maybe like some of the other players and the way that Posh have started in this game, maybe the shackles are off, maybe the pressure is different, and players like him can make some sort of impression.
Let's do a couple of messages then before we get the second half underway. This one from Andy: really good quality play from the Posh in that first half, so different from recent matches. And this one coming in from, if I can just find your name, this one coming in from Phil. He's a Hughes fan. To answer Jono's question, the last player to score a hat-trick for Cambridge United in the FA Cup was Luke Berry against Coventry back in 2016. So now you know. Second half commentary then coming your way here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. We're just getting underway with the Posh. The Hughes won't be too far behind us.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Thanks, Peter, and thanks for the message about Luke Berry. I think he got 4 that day, didn't he? It was Luke Berry Day at the Abbey, and I think I got told off for not mentioning the stadium sponsor's name. Still haven't. Oh well. Teams are out. Chester have made a change at centre half. Festus Arthur's come off. James Jones has come on. So no change of shape for Chester. Just a change of centre half. As United will kick off from right to left. Amber shirts, black stripes, black shorts, black socks. With Eastwood in goal. Bennett, Morrison, Watts and Purrington in defence as we get underway. Smith and Ball behind Brophy, Knight, Kai Kouassi leading the line. That will be United's shape at the start of the second half. Kouassi wrestles his way past 2. Looks to get it wide towards the right hand side where Bennett, almost level with the edge of the area, goes back to find Don Ball. He's got support behind him from Morrison. We'll look at the Chester lineup shortly. They're in blue shirts, white stripes, blue shorts and socks. As United just going backwards at the moment and getting a free kick as Piers fouls his man. Murray Jones in goal. Kelly Evans right wing back. Woodthorpe on the left. As Leake, Jones and Carson in the middle of defence. Weeks, Murray and Bainbridge midfield. Jones and Piers in attack. Referee is David Rock in episcopal purple as Corey Smith gets the ball forward for United from right to left, attacking the south stand, which is full of Chester fans. There's not so many actually, I don't think, as there were before the game.
Oh, I thought that.
There's a lot either disappeared or are still in a long queue at the T-bars.
Yeah, you would imagine so. And, well, disappointing really to hear a few boos coming from that stand after their side trudging in 3-0 down.
They've got high expectations despite being National League North. Chester have a free kick just over the halfway line on the right hand side.
Yeah, of course, other than new guys, Chester FC, as opposed to Chester City, the club disbanded, liquidated back in 2010.
They were originally Chester FC, I think, and then changed it to Chester City and then all the way back.
Yeah, long history.
Long. As Weeks with a free kick on this right hand side, launch it into the box. Eastwood comes and gathers emphatically, as he always does, and launching it away. Knight was looking for the run, but the ball didn't quite catch him. Corey Smith will nod it back. Knight was offside, and Killian Kouassi chases after the ball. He wasn't going to get there, but he did look like an express train on a downhill run with the handbrake off as he chased after that. As ball down this near side, Purrington gets hold of the collar of Jones and will go into the book, I think, and does.
Yes, an easy decision once again for the referee. All the bookings actually have been easy decisions for the referee. It was a little bit daft, wasn't it, from Ben Purrington? A clear hand on the collar or the shoulder of the Chester man. It was always going to be a free kick, always going to be a booking.
And United would be keen, having cruised to a 3-0 lead at the break, not to give Chester a sniff. And Chester, contrary-wise,
yeah, want that
desperate
clean sheet
to get way back in it. Yeah, there's a certain mentality I think Neil Harris will be thinking at the moment. Here's a free kick which Declan Weeks will take, right-footed, out-swinging from 10 yards outside the area, right-hand side. Sully Kaikai is the one-man wall. United pulled everyone back. The free kick will be taken eventually. Referee just making sure there's no shenanigans taking place. Bit of arm waving and pushing and shoving going on there. But it's taken deep, far post, and Eastwood comes, gets a punch on the ball, punches it into a Chester man and a United man. It goes out for a scruffy corner.
He was absolutely itching to come off his line and punch that away, wasn't he, Jake Eastwood? But didn't get the connection on it that he wanted, certainly.
And the players make their way to the byline between the 6-yard box and the 18-yard box. Never seen this before today. Players starting their runs there from a corner. Now they're peeling to the area, and it comes now, nodded powerfully away by Morrison. Knight will try to hold on to it. Can't do so, they'll pump back in ineffectively. Eastwood claims it and plays it out brilliantly. Lovely pass to find Kaikai on halfway, and he'll scamper away. Defenders come to him. Kaikai rolls it back infield where he'll find Dunball. He'll go wide towards Bennett on the right hand side. Corey Smith makes a run into the area. Bennett continues his run, delivers across into the area, nodded away only as far as Ball. Lovely little layoff to find Brophy on the corner of the box. He's got a man on the overlapping Bennett. Into the area it goes, nodded away by Bainbridge for Chester. Piers holds it up, tries to come across on this near side and does so, and he's found Jones who couldn't control, and Ben Purrington steers it back to his keeper. Use 3, Chester 0, 5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, looking to break at pace there. Piers feeding the ball. We're looking to feed it into the path of Jones, but Ben Purrington, good work just to get in front of his man.
Hughes ticking over again. They've seen so much of the ball and they've actually done something with it in the first half. Can they do the same in the second? Ball coaxed down the line from Purrington to Kaikai. Defender across. Hughes will have the throw, despite the best efforts of Tom Leake. Purrington takes quickly, but there's still another ball on the pitch. It was a good idea, the quick throw. Kaikai was away, but with one football on the pitch and another one being played by Kaikai, he can't do that. Now it's taken and the ball back towards Purrington. Finds Knight, rolling it in. Smith, ball round the corner towards Kaikai. Byline across the face of goal, cleared away by Jones, the defender.
The emphatic clearance, and I think that's why he's come into the side in this second half from the start, because Festus Arthur fought for at least one of the goals in the first half.
2 I've got him down for. There's the ball back towards Purrington. Little back roll of the ball towards Smith. Cross towards Don Ball, 25 yards out. Thought about the shot, then decided not to. Finding Brophy, who skips away from Woodthorpe. Can he get the cross in? He can, but it loops and a punch half away. And first time shot just wide from Don Ball. Hit it well, kept it low, and it went about a yard wide.
It's a really good instinctive hit and a really difficult dose of technique that he's had to apply there. Don Ball is not his favoured peg in terms of the left foot, but it was spinning in the air and he hit it really, really true, and that wasn't far away, you know.
It's George Murray-Jones getting the ball away for Chester. Long clearance. Bennett underneath it for United. Corey Smith heads it further away. Kouassi can't quite get there. Big up and under from Bainbridge into United territory. Watts plants a header away. Kouassi, lovely flick and turn, and he's got the ball as well, and he will chase it down that right hand side. Defender comes across and puts it into touch for a throw to United, but Killian Kouassi having the time of his life today.
Yeah, off his thigh, Kel Watts style, wasn't it? Just didn't have the pace to catch on to it.
Hughes in possession. Watt to Purrington on the left. Puts it back, and Corey Smith will pick it up. Ball round the corner from Don Ball, and here come the Hughes. Keeping possession, looking to tease Chester again. Smith with the ball over the top, looking for Kai. Defender will get there. Awkward header away. Knight can't get them. Purrington can, and he's done well. But Don Ball can't find anyone in the black and amber of Cambridge. But it's won back by Knight, illegally apparently. There was a modicum of contact, and that was enough for the referee David Rock to give Chester the free kick.
Well, I think that's a bit harsh on Ben Knight, I have to say. He won the ball cleanly. Referee's deemed he's obviously taken a little bit of the man out in the process.
Ball back to the Chester keeper. I'm sure 8 minutes into the second half, there's a very long queue at the T-bar on the way end, or a lot have gone home. Chester fans.
It's a long trip for them.
It is. Hughes in possession on the left hand side. Back to Kel Watts. Plays it in field towards Don Ball. Those Chester fans who have stayed making a good bit of noise. Fair play to them.
Enjoying their day out, apart from what's going on the pitch, of course.
Well, yeah. Should never all be about the football if you're going to have a long away trip. There's a ball forward towards Knight. Knight just outside the area, continues his run forward, goes for goal, shot blocked, back to Knight. Knight still in the box. He's got 4 in the area to aim at, but does turn away from trouble and curl a shot over the bar. Just rocked back onto his right foot, and as a result he was off balance when he hit it, and it went wide. He had options.
He had options. I mean, he had Ben Purrington to his left. Corey Smith was advancing forward. Both Sully Kai and Killian Kouassi in the box as well. But his first shot blocked away. But you could see with the final effort that was a good deal wide and high in the end. He was just leaning back a bit, wasn't he, Ben Knight?
10 minutes in the second half. Hughes 3, Chester 0 on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire on clearance, which Morrison does well to make sure Pearce doesn't get a run at the ball. And United back in possession. Bennett on the right hand side, back to Michael Morrison. Support from Eastwood, and Eastwood plays it out to Corey Smith, who eludes the challenge of Pearce and goes across towards the right hand side. He's still deep in their own half. Bennett comes away with the ball, finds Don Ball, twists and turns, and keeps doing so, and he'll look for a bit of help, and he'll go wide calmly to Bennett on the halfway line. Checks back in field. There's Brophy, who plays it in field, and it ricochets off a couple of Chester men, and they're back in possession. And they'll play it long, and that's too long, and that'll run away and out for the goal kick. A bit forlorn from Chester at the moment.
It is. It's a struggle for them at the moment. Real challenge for them to find yourself 1-0 down inside 10 minutes, and then the second goal coming 35 minutes. It gives you a real mountain to climb, and the third just before the break.
Yeah, it was a real gut punch.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, dents your motivation a little, and Tricky coming out for the second half.
Morrison trips it forward, and Brophy with a little flick on couldn't quite tease it into the path of Knight, and Chester back in possession on this left hand side with Leake looking to find Weeks with the ball forward. Eastwood quickly out of his goal and clips it away and into the car park behind the main stand.
He was betwixt knocking that one out of play or grabbing hold of it, but he was right on the line. Didn't want to take any chances, Jake Eastwood, I don't think.
So it will be Tom Leake with a throw level the edge of the area for Chester in blue and white from left to right. They'll get the ball back from Weeks, and Leake looking to dance back in field. Low ball cut out by Don Ball, but it's just escaped, and Jones with a shot into the near post, which parried and held well by Jake Eastwood. It was a low shot. Eastwood just took the power out of the shot and then just pounced on it easily. And United back in possession, leading by 3-0.
And I think I'm right in saying Chester's first shot on target this afternoon.
I'm sure you are.
Went close a couple of times in the first half just to give United a scare or two. They're trying to stay in this game, all the visitors.
Ball over the top from Smith, looking for Kai by the byline. Bit of space for him. Got 3 in the middle, rolls it back. Knight will step over towards Corey Smith, who curls it wide. There's a chance, it was a decent chance as well. Bit of shooting practice really for Corey Smith, and that's his long layoff at the start of this year. It's causing a little bit of rust still as he put it wide.
Yeah, he didn't quite get his set square out in time for that one. It was a brilliant move, wasn't it? I mean, little back heel from Ben Knight, I think it was, to set him on his way, and it always looked like it was going wide. He couldn't quite wrap enough around that shot to see it beyond the keeper, but United creating chances in this second half, Jono.
As Purrington holds off a strong challenge, as does Kel Watts, hikes it high up into the air, nodded back towards the edge of the area, and Eastwood will come and gather it. Need back to his keeper, inevitably by Kel Watts.
Wouldn't be a game at the Abbey without seeing that, would it, Jono?
Well, anywhere really, would it?
The Kel Watts thigh.
As Eastwood with a clearance which kept in well by Bennett, actually. He looked to force it back in field but can't keep possession for United. And at 3-0 up half time, it's inevitable United might lose a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, they'll not want to be too sloppy though. They want that clean sheet and perhaps another goal or 2 more, and James Gibbons just warming up rather vigorously in front of us. John, I wonder if his entry into the game is imminent.
Yeah, it could be. There's United in possession, ball across towards Corey Smith. Good to see him back in used colours at the Abbey Stadium. As it rolls it across towards that right hand side. Morrison tees it down the line, looking for the run of Bennett. Defenders there, and he'll steer it back to his keeper. Kouassi comes to close him down, and as a result the clearance finds Knight 10 yards outside the area, can't turn, stumbles his way back towards halfway where he's still got the ball, velcroed to his feet. He'll look to find Purrington on the halfway line, clips it down the line, looking for the run of Knight, away by the Chester defence. And at the second attempt they'll clear upfield. There's no one there for Chester.
Yeah, Chester are looking, I think, to make a change in a moment. There was a word to one of the substitutes, a long word from Alan McIntyre a moment ago.
Ball pings it out wide to Purrington on the left hand side, wide to Kai, 10 yards outside the area, marauding forward, level with the edge of the box, infield towards Ball, and Purrington comes back towards Don Ball. Now Brophy just outside the area on the right, steps infield, continues so doing, finds Kai, Brophy goes on an overlap. That's a decoy run. Hughes still in possession with Knight, 5 yards outside the area, rolling forward. He'll go wide to Purrington, and acres of space. Can he deliver the cross low into the area? It's away by the Chester defence. Corey Smith brings it down out of the air and goes back to his keeper.
A good football from United along the edge of the 18-yard box, but their eventual cross into the box from Purrington on the overlap was, well, poor to say the least.
And here come the U's again. They're seeing, as they were in the first half, plenty of possession. And the comfort of a 3-goal lead always helps. Well, Morrison wide to Bennett on the right hand side, back to Michael Morrison. Hughes will be wanting to make changes, wanting to freshen people up. but they'll also be wanting to keep that clean sheet.
They will, and another goal or two.
Smith with the ball over the top, lovely pass, looking for the run of Kai, just a fraction too far forward. That was really deft pass from Corey Smith, just overhit by about a ball's length. This ball back into the Chester area from Bainbridge, worked away towards halfway. Smith brings it down brilliantly. Looks for a bit of help, there isn't any. Has to go back towards Purrington, who's keeping possession. Might be Frande Zanzala, a forward, might be coming on for Chester in a minute. Scored 2 in the last round. And, Chester in possession, so go wide to Jones on the right hand side, clips it into the area, nodded away by the United defence. Kai, little chest down, it's cleared away by Ball. He's not getting anywhere to it at the moment. It's hooked back in field by Kelly Evans, away by the United defence again, but they haven't cleared their lines, and it falls towards Dion Kelly Evans. And it comes back towards Bainbridge, and he's shot from 20 yards, tipped over by Eastwood, and a decent save.
Yeah, it was a super effort, wasn't it, from Bainbridge, and watched it all the way. Just needed a fingertip from Jake Eastwood, but no, it's a decent effort from Bainbridge, wasn't it?
Use of the corner to defend, which Weeks will take.
Yeah, Bainbridge scored in the last round, the win over Morecambe for the visitors today.
Right-footed, out-swinging corner. And Chester about to make a change, but not just yet. In it comes now towards that near post, goes a long way. Hughes trying to get numbers back, and in the end the shot pinged in off balance, well off target from Ewan Murray. Zanzala comes on, 73rd minute. And the fourth official just struggling to get his fourth official's board working. Interesting to see who they change, whether it's a positive move. Fourth official's board's gone on strike, so we may never know. Well, they've got to bring someone off.
Yeah, perhaps he forgot his batteries.
I think it's Jones.
Oh, he doesn't look happy, does he? And
He
the
doesn't. Well,
booze from the Chester fans to our left as well.
well, that's like for like, surely. Well,
I think in a situation like this, I mean, you've got to go for broke a little bit.
well, I would have thought.
I thought perhaps they were going to look to tweak it a little bit and play the 3 up top.
Well,
give United something different to think about.
And Jones was carrying their biggest threat.
That's what I thought. That's That's why you're hearing 1 or 2 boos from the Chester end. We don't like to hear it, but they're clearly not happy.
It's Chester in possession. Brophy with a little reminder into the back of Murray. Chester back in possession on the halfway line. Hughes leading by 3 at 19 minutes into the second half. Ball around the corner by Pears. United back in possession though, as Morrison reads it well. Kai has to go back via Watts to his keeper, and Eastwood will get it away. Big booming clearance from Drake Eastwood into the breeze. A loose header, which Knight has done well to latch on to. It had to ease a defender off the ball to get there. And he's kept possession, who looked to turn away, and he's done well. He spins it wide to Bennett on the right hand side. Bennett has to go back. Hughes keeping possession once more. 19 minutes into the second half. Hughes 3, Chester 0. Watts on a mazy run. Picks up Don Ball on halfway, looking to roll it on towards Knight. Knight looking to put it into the path of Brophy. Couldn't quite do so. Sliding into the challenge, winning it cleanly was James Jones, but it's only cleared as far as Bennett. Jones slides in again and puts it away for a throw to United.
Yeah, found a little bit of space on that right hand side. Not quite as dominant a performance from Bennett on that right so far in this second half.
Throw finds its way through towards Don Ball, has run off the ball, and out it goes for the goal kick. 4,300 or so here again. 1,200 have made the trip down from Chester.
Yeah, super. And that's acknowledged, isn't it, by the Hughes fans? Very few, if at all, sets of away fans in the league this season here at the Abbey that have brought that many fans, and it's a nod really that have had to open the south stand to accommodate everyone this afternoon. Brilliant effort from them, brilliant. Ball
launched forward by Leek Hughes with a head underneath it. Kai battling away. That's his arm pulled and his shirt pulled, but it's a throw to Chester nonetheless, which Leek will take quickly. It's hooked forward by Weeks towards the edge of the area, where Piers jumps into Kel Watts and concedes the free kick.
Yeah, just a little pushing or a nudging there, wasn't there? And got Zanzala at the top end of the pitch now. Aside from Torquay in the summer, he did score in the colours of Chester last Saturday, but it was a home defeat to Bedford. And you were telling me earlier, Greg Taylor was in that Bedford side that won up there last Saturday.
Yeah, it was. So United back in possession. Lovely feat from Brophy to get away from his man and find Corey Smith, who'll motor forward on the left hand side. Purrington on the overlap. Kai in front of him, lays it off towards Solly Kai. Finds Don Ball now midway inside Chester territory, who's 3-0 up. Brophy gets it back to Ball, 25 yards outside the area, across to Smith on the left hand side, tees forward towards Kai. Couldn't quite take it in his stride, just looked to slip it between his own ankles really, and then latch onto it, but couldn't get it past the defender when he did so.
Appreciated the pass from Corey Smith there. It was a thumbs up to use number 8. Good to see Corey Smith getting match minutes today.
He's grown into this game as well, hasn't he, Smith?
He has, yeah. And a little bit of competition in there, of course. Paley Ruddock on the bench this afternoon. You've got George Fuddle in the wings as well.
Clip forward, Morrison does well to get his head to it, but picking it up just for a minute was Murray, who's there with Smith tidying up at the other end of the field. Bunny Bennett clears upfield towards that far side. Kouassi can't quite get that. And Chester back in possession midway inside their own half, just coming up to the midpoint of the second half here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire with me, Mark Johnson. Doug Shulman alongside. It's Cambridge United 3, Chester 0 in this FA Cup first round tie. Zanzala might have other ideas. He turns for Chester midway inside the Hughes half, gets it back to Ewan Murray, back to Zanzala again, who stands on the ball but somehow keeps possession, gets it back to Leek and then Murray again, looking to tease it forward. Zanzala back to Leek once more. Hughes looking to be patient. They're going to make a change in a minute, United. Zanzala forced away, but has found Murray again. He'll go wide towards the right hand side and get the ball back as well. Can just step over. United just didn't get the reaction from the subs warming up they wanted, so it was quite vigorous signalling from Neil Harris in the end.
All four called back. Kachunga, Ruddock, Zach Bradshaw and Glenn McConnell.
His ball in towards the edge of the area, and Morrison does, in fact Purrington does really well to ease off the run of Murray through the middle and allow Eastwood to come and pounce on the ball. Use 3 up, 23 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, it looks like the upset elsewhere, John, very quickly could be Boreham Wood, who are beating Crawley 2-0 at the moment. One Ryan Loft, Hughes Loney, sent off for Crawley this afternoon. It's his second red card since moving to the Surrey side on loan.
I see Macclesfield at half-time were 3-3 against Totton, weren't they, with Scott Rendell scoring twice for Totton.
Still playing football.
He is. It's United making progress down the left-hand side, winning a throw midway inside, in fact almost level with the edge of the area on this left-hand side. Purrington down the line, gets it back from Sully Kai, rolls it in towards Corey Smith. Smith pack, he was looking for a ball, or ball thought he was, went behind him, found Michael Morrison. Instead it was Smith's intended target. United still in possession. They've had loads of it, more than you'd normally expect. There's Morrison on a wandering run, and then he was looking for a pass in towards Kouassi and found the keeper instead.
Yeah, didn't quite get the cutback that he wanted. Killian Kouassi obviously still after that hat-trick, but United not quite hit the heights of the first half.
3-0 up half-time. It's rare that a side continues in that vein after the break. There's a long ball forward, Zanzala in, but Watts was in bravely, winning the ball. Bennett has to get there, and he's being forced all the way back into his own half and plays it across the line to find Purrington on the left-hand side, and he'll clip it forward, and he'll look for Kai. Defenders there. Nods it down to Ewan Murray. Gets it back from Zanzala. Chester on the right-hand side. Kelly Evans getting it back. Chester getting a little foothold in possession. Just over 20 minutes remain. As they look to rake the pass out wide towards that far side where United step in nicely. Bennett hasn't won the ball actually, and Chester back in possession.
Yeah, just out-muscled for a moment, wasn't he? Ian Bennett, despite a decent first touch.
It's Chester still in possession. United fans are with a quiet contentment rather than vast excitement, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, obviously bigger things will come in terms of league fixtures next Saturday. You up at Salford.
As the ball steered all the way back to Jake Eastwood for United. Ball with a pass that sends Morrison scurrying back, but he's worked it onto Brophy under a bit of pressure. Yes, it gives the ball to Bainbridge, and that was a passage of play from United. Was as sloppy as a bowl of porridge with too much milk in it. Hughes about to make
four changes,
yeah.
George Hoddle will be one of them. Pelly Ruddock, I think they might be changing the two central midfielders first off, Jono, at least.
McConnell's there as well. Kachunga, I think, is the other change.
And Killian Kouassi will be a bit irked if he gets taken off on a hat-trick.
That was a Mark Bonner trick, wasn't he? He always took players off on a hat-trick. There's the ball forward and
keep them on their toes, I guess.
Watts puts it out. 72 minutes in when we're going to see mass changes. So we'll see who comes off. But, as the fourth official's given up on his board, we'll have to try and pick this out. United will try and sneak them all on perhaps and take no one off. Well, they haven't been allowed to make any changes, in fact, at that moment.
You'd struggle to get away with that one, Jono.
4 certainly, I think you might spot it. It's Chester in possession, 72 minutes in. Hughes leading comfortably by 3 first half goals to 0.
They are, and heading towards the second round of draw for that, just in case anyone's wondering. 6:45 on Monday evening.
Oh, well, we're still on air on Monday.
We are.
Twice we've got lucky with that.
Join us for the Hughes show between 6 and 7, of course.
As Kouassi brings the ball down really well, spins to this near side, wins the throw. Now will United make the changes? They will, and the fourth official's got his board ready. Will it work? It's worked. Ruddock will replace Don Ball. That's the first change. Fourth official still programming his board, so it may not work a second time. You never know. Technology, eh? Don't you just love it?
He's got it going.
And Elias Kachunga comes on in place of Killian Kouassi, who comes off to a fantastic reception.
He's had a good afternoon, hasn't he? 2 goals in his back pocket and an assist.
And the third change, as time rolls on, sees Glenn McConnell comes on in place of Ben Knight. Good opportunity for McConnell. Knight didn't quite seize his opportunity today.
No, he didn't, unfortunately. I mean, he's seen plenty of the ball in the second half, but not quite. Once again, got the numbers. He shows brilliant ability, but...
And George Hoddle replaces Corey Smith. So he called it absolutely right, Doug. United have changed their defensive pairing. And they've also replaced the front man and the man just in behind the front man.
Yeah, so straight swaps all over the place, and a brilliant opportunity when you're comfortable in a game at 3-0 up. Gives you the opportunity to just rotate a little bit, get minutes into players that you want to get minutes into, and just take people out of the equation in terms of preserving minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so United with McConnell now on, back to Purrington. Now finding Pelly Ruddock. He'll calmly play it across towards Morrison. There's Ruddock and Kachunga aren't bad options to have off the bench, are they? So United get the ball forward, but Kachunga can't quite hold on to it. Out it goes for a throw.
Yeah, and I do believe Glenn McConnell's first appearance in the FA Cup in a United shirt, and the FA Cup proper. Obviously had a brilliant run in the FA Youth Cup a couple of years back when United got to the quarter-finals, knocked out narrowly by Arsenal at the Emirates. But yeah, good chance for him to shine this afternoon.
I couldn't help hearing Eric Morecambe cough when he said Arsenal. If you're not over 55, Google it.
Sadly I am, Jono.
There's a long clearance forward. Half an hour in the second half. Hughes lead by 3. McConnell picks it up. Hoddle wins the ball in the air. Finding Brophy. Midway inside Chester territory. Cross towards Purrington on the left-hand side. Ruddock will get the ball back. I suppose part of the instruction for the subs is can get some minutes if he can add another goal, but keep that clean sheet.
Yep, and give me a selection headache next Wednesday and next Saturday as well.
Hoddle does just that, bursting down the right hand side. Ball comes back in field towards Elias Kachunga. Has to turn, finding George Hoddle once more. He's got Bennett on the overlap and gets the ball back from Brophy. Feeds it through, back to Hoddle once more. Tidy from United. Brophy now will pick it up, rolling forward in towards McConnell with a shot, stings the hands of the keeper. Lovely turn and shot, and it's only half cleared. Bennett gets it back to Brophy once more, just outside the box towards Ruddock with a shot, and that stings into the head of a defender. Keeper comes a long way and punches it and flattens his own defender in the process, and Kel Watts picks up the pieces, finds Purrington. Watts continues his run forward. Kai just outside the area, left hand side, looking to get to the byline. He's got men in the middle, he can't pick them out, but he can win the corner.
Again, super football from United, and they were struggling to just clear their lines a little bit. Chester, some brave defending in there as well. And Silly Kaiko on this left hand side, always available, isn't he, for the ball? Always a danger, always a threat.
Will be Kaiko with the corner. He takes it short to McConnell, rolls it across to Brophy just outside the box. Back to Glenn McConnell in the corner of the area. Got Kaikai on the overlap, and we'll find him. Kaikai's cross stood up towards the far post, just a little deep. Purrington would chase, won't get there. And Weeks will bring it down and be penned back in. Just under quarter of an hour to go. Hughes lead by 3. As Tom Leake comes away with the ball. Is it in towards Bainbridge. And Chester still deep in their own half.
Yeah, they've not quite managed to cause enough of a threat on United's goal all afternoon, really. There's been a couple of decent efforts in this second half, but it's been a real challenge for them, hasn't it? We wish them well, of course, in their league campaign after today, National League North. They can edge a little further up the table.
Yeah, they've got 8 games in November, including this one, I think. But, that'll test your squad depth.
Oof, it will, won't it?
Hughes have got a few, but nowhere near that number. As McConnell puts pressure on, and as a result has to go squib back in field, and Brophy nearly picked the pocket of Hayden Carson. But Carson escaped. And looks for the ball back in field, and there's that quiet air of Chester almost hoping they can hear the sound of their coach starting up. And United feeling quite comfortable at the moment. It's back to the keeper once more.
Yeah, they are. It will just hurt Neil Harris a little bit that haven't managed to add to their tally so far in this game. A quarter of an hour left.
Of course, the 3 goals in the first half stops anyone asking, well, why did you only start with 1 striker? Well, does it stop anyone asking that, Doug Shulman? As you'll be
there's always questions. Always questions.
You'll be posing them post-match.
Yep.
As Chester with
Neil.
the throw.
He'll be a happy man, no doubt.
Zanzala, who rolls it up his arm. United winning the ball back, and Hoddle calmly gets it back to Bennett, and Bennett will launch it forward. Kachunga just beaten away by James Jones, who's plugged some gaps in that back line for Chester in the second half.
He has. They look a little bit more solid. He had a difficult first half. Festus Arthur, certainly.
There's Kelly Evans on the near side, gets it back, ball back in field. Looks to return pass, instead comes to Declan Weeks and go wide, and there's a bit of space over on that left hand side for Woodthorpe to work in, and he'll take on Bennett and whip in a decent cross actually, which Jake Eastwood catches easily under no pressure. And he'll bowl it out in an instant. There's McConnell for United, just laying it off calmly. Hughes looking comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable as you like. It's just taken a little bit of buzz out of the game in terms of its atmosphere, though, Jono, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But still, to be 3-0 up at half time and pretty much have the game won, barring any absolute catastrophes, it's a situation you find yourself in which you don't ordinarily throughout the season. It's a luxury, isn't it, almost?
Yep, absolutely. As United getting the ball wide from Ruddock towards Kai on the left-hand side, looking to brawl forward into the area, and it's forced out at the end. It does find McConnell, looks return pass, flick round the corner, and Kai goes to ground, but referee gives a free kick the other way.
Yeah, he was just a little bit eager to get in front of his man. I think it was Jones again, wasn't it? They just reached an arm around, I think, and just hauled his man down, but they were trying to be very intricate there with their pass and move football they use.
United have got another change coming in a minute.
And Adam Mayer looks to be one of the... perhaps he's the only change.
I think he can be.
That man said, no, I can't call. I thought it was a man of the United shirt, but it was actually the fourth official. I don't think you can bring him on.
We could, but I don't think he'd help. Be encumbered by that board of his, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Adam Mayer, if anyone was wondering, and we were told to keep it a little bit quiet on Thursday, but both Kylian Kouassi, Adam Mayer allowed to play in the FA Cup by their parent clubs.
Yeah, I think United have given the game away now. Kouassi with 2 goals and assist, and Mayer just about to come off the bench for the last less than 10 minutes, or more than 10 minutes plus stoppage time. Yes, United very much at walking pace at the moment. The ball back towards Eastwood, who plays it out towards Bennett on the right hand side. He's got 5 in front of him. Brophy checks back short and gets the ball as well, and he's got time and space to work. There's no one left now. Purrington comes forward and he picks it up to dance back in field, finding Brophy twists and turns. There's Ruddock closed down by Zanzala. United sending it back to that right hand side. It's picked up by George Hoddle. First inclination is go backwards as the light on the crane behind the Having stand flashes brightly against an ink blue sky, and the ball wide towards Hoddle again on the right hand side, and he'll charge forward. Just holds it up for a moment, finds James Brophy 10 yards outside the area, looking to carve it into the box where Purrington's made a good run across the face of goal just behind McConnell. Shot on the half turn, might run to Kachunga, keeper blocks brilliantly, and it's worked away by the Chester defence. One back quickly though by Morrison for United. Down the line again towards Bennett. United with 4 still in the box, now a 5th as Bennett cuts infield, lays it off towards McConnell. Now it's Brophy in towards McConnell again, turns away from his man, runs into a challenge and loses the ball. Just a little intricate from United.
It was a bit too overcomplicated, wasn't it? Close to the 4th, but not quite.
As Pearce looks to roll it forward, but a sliding interception from Pelly Ruddock guides it back to his keeper.
It was intended for Zanzala, so good instinctive cut out by Ruddock off the bench.
There's Morrison in the centre circle. There's Hoddle rather in the centre circle. Gets it back towards Kel Watts. There is Morrison now. As United in possession again. They've had chances in the second half, but not too many, but the game's been won since half time.
It is. I mean, you can be over greedy, but I'd imagine there'll be a tinge of disappointment from Neil Harris that his side haven't managed to add to their lead. The lead they went in at half time with, certainly.
Yeah, football's a sport to be over greedy in, and most sports are like that, really, if truth be told. It's human nature. Chester pondering another change. As Ruddock wants someone to come short for the ball. McConnell does, and then looks to dummy it and loses possession. And Chester back in possession with 7 minutes to go, plus a bit of stoppage time. Mayer still prowling the technical area, waiting to come on.
The Boreham Wood now 3-0 up over their League 2 opponents in Crawley.
10-man Crawley. Ryan Loft on loan from United, sent off.
It's a chastening day, isn't it, for the league side?
Yeah. Boreham Wood aren't no mugs though, are they, in the conference?
They're not, but they're a division below Crawley, and that was smart for Scott Lindsay.
Yeah. Long ball forward, looking for Kelly Evans and not finding him. As Ben Purrington goes stride for stride with him, sees the ball back into a clutch of photographers and out for the goal kick. As 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time, Adam Mayer will come on in place of bated breath while the 4th official tries to get his board to work again.
James Brophy.
Would have thought so. It is James Brophy.
Yeah, he's had a good afternoon, James Brophy. Brilliant goal just on the stroke of half time. Fed to him by Kylian Kouassi. Hit it well, hit it true. with 5 goals for the season. Good afternoon's work.
Mayer comes on and will immediately switch over to the left-hand side, and Kaiko will go to right. In fact, Mayer might even... Yeah, Kaiko making his way over towards that far side. And play will restart with a goal kick. It's not been the highest pressure second half we've ever seen.
It hasn't. I mean, they've been dominant as they were in the first half, but not quite managed to force the ball over the line, not managed to work the keeper as much as perhaps they would like.
Yeah, made one instinctive save from Glenn McConnell just a few minutes ago as United looked to win the ball back, and in doing so, well, Bennett's just been penalised for a little trip just inside Chester territory. 4 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Hughes lead by 3-0.
The other shot looks like it might come at Wimbledon. Gateshead are 2-0 up at the moment.
It's Chester going back into their own half, where Jones comes away with the ball. James Jones, the substitute, clipping it forwards, and Zala brings it down, but been forced away. Forced well away by Purrington. And still forced back in field, and Ruddock strongly wins the ball back for United and finds Kai. He'll charge forward, looking to slide in the path of Kachunga. Takes it away from his man, drifts a little wide, does get the shot in, but defenders there to take all the sting out of it. And the keeper able to gobble it up in his powder purple coloured kit. It is used 3, Chester 0.
Yeah, he was well tracked, wasn't he, Elias Kachunga, and got his shot away, but defender did enough to get something on the ball. He just couldn't quite get the space and power he wanted on that occasion. United's number 10.
Kelly Evans getting the ball back, and it's clipped forward by Weeks. A little head back by Purrington, was looking for his keeper, didn't get enough on it. Eastwood quickly out. United back in possession though, as Hoddle and then Ruddock win the ball, and Ruddock has fouled for a free kick to use, but just a little slack play from Purrington. Didn't quite get enough on his backward header, but no. Eastwood bailed him out.
Yeah, he did, and the little nudge, the little foul on Pelly Ruddock ensured it just broken play up. With just 3-4 minutes left on the clock. A routine afternoon for the Hughes, Jono.
Yeah,
and they'll hope for a home tie second round, won't they, as well?
Absolutely. Ball planted long to the offside Kachunga. Flag goes up, and Chester will have the free kick.
And actually a word for United in terms of their form here at the Abbey. 10 games in League and Cup, 8 wins and a draw, just the 1 defeat. It's pretty decent, isn't it?
Kevin Roberts is about to come on for Chester.
A former United man, of course. I spotted him earlier on the pitch during the warm-up. He was smiling and saying hello to 1 or 2 people.
So Woods comes on for Pears. Woods is more, and Kevin Roddick will come on in place of Tom Leake. So both Toms go off.
Yeah, he gets a good round of applause, and he was a brilliant servant for United. 153 appearances, 5 goals in that time as well. He was at the club for 4 years. Played every minute of that playoff final against Gateshead.
All 297,000. And actually he's learnt his lesson from that, because he's not only a player, he's a player physio. As United going forward with Ruddock, and he's charging forward, and he's looking to put it into the path of Kachunga, just caught by the defence. United will Chester get the ball away.
But yes, you're right, Kev Roberts. He's been part of the physio team at Chester for 3 years now. He's got a career after football in terms of being a player, that is.
Connor Woods goes for goal from a long way out, and ripples against the outside of the net. Shot from 25-30 yards almost. Eastwood just wandered across his goal, waved it as it went well wide.
It was a decent effort, always curling away though, wasn't it? But yeah, Kev Roberts, he's 36 now. His second spell at Chester. It's a club at his heart. He's played 335 times for them as well. Scored 16 goals in that time, so 336 appearances with today added on as well.
My brain's just a mush of numbers now, Doug.
But a brilliant server for both the Hughes and Chester.
Absolutely. 3 minutes to be added on, a minimum thereof. I think that's kind from the referee. There could have been a lot more.
Yeah, we'll consider the number of substitutions there's been throughout this afternoon.
So that's a mercy, really. And that's enough for Zeno Ibsen Rossi, who was in the director's box, wandering back down to make the tea perhaps for his teammates.
Rather than joining the board.
Yeah, well, he might have done. There hasn't been an announcement to that effect, so I'm presuming it is just that's where he was watching the game.
But United job done this afternoon, isn't it? Someone giving you a 3-0 win, a clean sheet and an exit out of round 1 and into round 2, and some nice prize money involved.
As the ball rolls through, overhit by Chester into the hands of Eastwood, and come gather it up. And added to that, a very unstressful afternoon.
Yeah, very much so. Minutes into players, minutes preserved for others, and they'll go into the 2 games next week in Goodfettle.
Yep. Long clearance from Eastwood, nodded away by Kev Roberts. Connell almost picked it up, but not quite, and it's forced wide to Woodthorpe on the left-hand side. Launched away by the Chester defence. Underneath it is Kel Watts for United. McConnell did well, bring it down his chest and buy a free kick. It's just too quick for his Conference North opponent on that occasion.
He's a lively individual, isn't he? Glenn McConnell obviously suffered with a lot of injury over the last 2 or 3 years or so. Never quite got his career going at first team level, but he'll be enthused and encouraged by getting a few minutes this afternoon in the FA Cup.
Yep. Hughes with that free kick on the right hand side, which they take and put down the line, and there is Hoddle. We'll go wide towards Bennett. Bennett gets it back in field. Morrison goes back towards Ruddock, and United just looking to keep that clean sheet now, I think.
Yes, they are just managing the final few moments or so.
We're into the third final minute of stoppage time. Hughes 3, Chester 0. Damage done for United in the first half. Kouassi after 10, again after 35, then James Brophy in the second minute, first half stoppage time, and that's really it as far as United were concerned. As far as the game was concerned, game was won as Ruddock just got a kick on the ankle. United will have a free kick, and Ruddock hobbling goes to ground. Referee just sees if he wants any treatment.
Yeah, heading towards a 5th clean sheet of the season. The Hughes, 3 in the league, 2 in the cups.
That's something from which to take pride.
Oh, he'll always be proud of a clean sheet.
Down the line, looking to put Kachunga in, couldn't quite force it through. Bainbridge picks it out, and there goes the full-time whistle, and you can fire up coconuts as United ease their way into the second round of the Cup with a routine win against Conference North Chester. Could have been tricky. United made sure it wasn't against a side 52 places below them in the pyramid, with an early goal from Killian Kouassi. Kouassi made it 2 on 35 after really good work from Brophy, and he returned the compliment 2 minutes into stoppage time, scampering away. He couldn't get the shot away, but did lay it off for Brophy, who curled it into the top corner. That was that as far as scoring was concerned. United controlled possession, a few scares, but none that weren't of their own making in the first half, none that happened at all really in the second. Jake Eastwood almost a spectator as Chester came and were brushed aside. United a perfunctory win, job done. Cambridge United 2, Chester 0. Let's go to London Road where Posh are playing Cardiff. Ben Stevenson to talk you through to full time.
Chest and Cardiff get it back. Surely the final attack for the Welsh side. It's with Capaccio, he has to go short. Now to Wintle, they've worked it to Colwill. Nervous moments, Posh clinging on in the FA Cup. The ball is deflected off Collins and Bass tries to keep it in. The linesman has said it has gone out. Cardiff have a corner. We have played 5 1/4 minutes as Nathan Trott comes striding up for the corner. This is it as we welcome fans of Cambridge United. Posh leading by a goal to 0. We've played the 5 minutes of added time. The final corner comes in, headed towards goal. It might fall for Trott. It's still in the area. The goalkeeper's now going to hit it towards goal. It's come off a Posh player, has it? No! It's all over at London Road. The final chance wasted by Cardiff, and the Luke Williams era begins with a win in the FA Cup. Harry Leonard's opener, his first for the club, and it was enough for this Posh side, resurgent under their new manager, to put a team over 20 places above them in League One to the sword. And Posh continue their tradition of being in the second round of the FA Cup. But that might just be the side piece to the overall story. They have been resurgent under Luke Williams, and they have looked a different team. They looked dangerous in the first half in the attack, and in the second half, when they had to be resolute, when they had to stop Cardiff and keep them at their bay, they answered the call. And what has been a refreshingly successful afternoon at London Road is the Posh that celebrate as the Luke Williams era gets underway with a win. In the first round of the FA Cup here at London Road, finishes Peterborough United 1, Cardiff City 0.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Did someone say something about a different animal? Darren McAntony, I think one or two, when he mentioned that on his podcast, had taken those words and thrown him back at him. But this afternoon, Peterborough United, very much a different look under Luke Williams. New in through the door, succeeding Darren Ferguson. Darren, of course, losing his job last weekend. Yes, we know all about new manager bounce, but it's much better to start off with a win rather than a defeat. Peterborough United into the second round of this season's FA Cup. Cambridge United will also be in the hat come Monday evening, and to be honest, it could hardly have been any more straightforward for the U's. 1-0 up early on, 3-0 up at the half-time break. The second half was a procession. Neil Harris able to spread the minutes around. Chester at the National League North looking very much like a side from the National League North. A133 if you'd like to share your thoughts and text us. You can get in touch via Twitter at BBC Cam Sport. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. CAM is how you need to start your text messages, your WhatsApps as well. We've got a bit of a party atmosphere here at London Road as the players make their way down the tunnel. Luke Williams looking very sharp in, I think it's a fancy coat rather than a suit, but looking very sharp as he takes the applause and ducks down the tunnel. Gustav Lindgren, the last of the players to make his way off the pitch. Second half substitute, Gustav Lindgren. 1-0 win then for Peterborough United. 3-0 win for Cambridge United. We'll get immediate reaction with Mark Johnson in just a second. Chris Dowsett, for the Posh, for Luke Williams, that's a good afternoon's work, isn't it?
It's an excellent afternoon's work, Pete. I don't know if many coming to the ground today thought that Posh would get a result against Cardiff in the FA Cup, but I think they saw much more than that. Not only the result, I think it was the style of play was so different to what we've been accustomed to over the course of this season, and also probably, you know, the second half of last season as well. It was completely different. He's only been in the club a few days, but his impact has been huge already. Posh, right from the off in this game, were on the front foot. They were looking to get forward at every opportunity. They passed the ball round, you know, crisply, concisely, moving it at pace, always looking to be on the front foot. And I think, you know, they should have scored with the first attack of the game, but they didn't let their heads go down from that moment, and crucially they didn't let Cardiff in the game either. Yes, they did make a couple of sloppy mistakes, and they will have their goalkeeper to thank for not going behind, but their heads never went down at any point. And again, it was that willingness to go forward that created the goal for them after 38 minutes. It was a deflected shot from the edge of the box that fell into the path of Harry Leonard, and it was a good finish from him, and crucially for him, gets him off the mark in a Posh shirt, because, you know, he's come into the club with a bit of pressure. There's a big price tag on him. They would have expected him to deliver straight away. It hasn't quite happened. I think his performances have been there, but obviously when you're a striker and you pay that much money for somebody, you expect the goals. Now he's now off the mark and underway, and he'll hope that he can now go on a bit of a run. But my concern in the second half was that Posh maybe would run out of steam. But you know, for a side that has quite obviously struggled with fitness over the first couple of months of the season, that it didn't really seem to have a great effect. They kept going to the end. They were still aggressive in their defending. They were still willing to go forward at every opportunity. And you have to say, a Cardiff side that come here in third place in the table, they disappointed, really, if we're honest. They got in some good positions at times, but the final ball was poor, or the final shot was wayward, and in the end I think it's fully deserved that Posh find themselves in round 2.
Yeah, it was surprisingly comfortable in that second half. Luke Williams with, I think it's fair to say, some intelligent changes. The decisions he made, tweaking things, the game management in the second half, that all went to plan, but Cardiff were quite flat. Toby on Twitter, much better from Posh this afternoon. We defended well as a team. We immediately looked far more organised. Mark says great win for the Posh and for the new manager. Alan says considering the short space of time Luke Williams has been with the club, it has to be said that was a great performance. Posh deserved the victory. Let's hope we can take the momentum into the forthcoming league games. And Kinder says what a result, our best performance of the season. That is from the whole squad. Tom Lee's my man of the match. He was organising all game. Alex Bass just missed a safe hands. Roll on round 2. Our season starts today. Peterborough United then with a 1-0 win here at London Road. Harry Leonard with his first Posh goal for Cambridge United. 3-0 victory at the Abbey. Killian Kouassi with 2 goals. James Brophy also on target during the first half, and the second half, well, it couldn't have been more straightforward from a Cambridge United point of view. Jono, if Neil Harris had been lying in bed last night dreaming of the perfect outcome, the perfect afternoon, he wouldn't have gone too far wrong if he came up with what you've just seen.
Been a bit greedier and looked for something in the second half in the way of a goal, but quite honestly, get the game won early and keep a clean sheet. It sounds like Neil Harris football as far as I'm concerned. That's what United do at home. If they can score early, put the game to bed, and the opponents... really, Chester today couldn't lay a glove on them.
If you're Chester, it's all a bit of a nightmare, isn't it, to be behind so early, and really their defending, given how resilient, niggly, organised, how the U's will always push you on the basics. If you don't get those basics right against Cambridge United, then more often than not you will be in a spot of bother.
Well, it was no surprise really that they changed one of the centre halves at half time, and his errors, I suppose, or not perfect with headers, cost 2 of the goals from United, and United pounced and were able to make the most of it. And that's something, actually, you look at this game and you think, well, it's a game United should win, and did comfortably, but there are other positives to take from it as well. Yes, Chester are 52 places below them in the Conference North, but having said all that, how many times have we said United with loads of possession really struggle to make any mischief with it? First half, absolutely they did. They scored 3 times and had loads of possession. So that was good in that respect, and that was probably the biggest worry. If United had a lot of the ball, would they be good enough to make that possession count? Well, they did, and they had the game won at half time and could almost cruise through the second half. And I'm reminded of a former United manager who was criticised after a goalless second half after being 3-0 up at the break, and he said, well, you don't run when you're early for the bus. And that was United today. They'd got the game won by half-time, and they didn't really need to overstretch themselves in the second half. They had a few chances in the second half, but really it was low-key. It was within themselves. They had another couple of gears they could have moved up. And all in all,